Rickshaw here. It's Monday the 26th of April, 21. There's a little break in the cloud there, but we're getting some much needed rain. It's been a couple months since we've had any kind of a rain that wet the ground like this. So we get these little spritzers that don't do anything other than kick up the dust, and it has in the last few weeks. It's been exceedingly dusty. We know it just by the fan. We clean the fan off. We usually do that at least once a week, but now it's more than double of that because they get so filthy with crud quickly. And so we constantly tearing them apart and cleaning them. But we're supposed to go down and get the keys turned over to us for the house. Hopefully that happens. But we're not counting on it, because one thing we've had with this company is promises not kept. And even yesterday, I told my wife, call your buddy about the truck, so we can get the truck over here and get it loaded and get moved. And she's like, no, let's wait and make sure. So she doesn't even trust him. It's just what we're dealing with. But I'll keep making videos throughout the day as we progress, and hopefully we will get the keys today. And I actually loaded up the car with all of the new stuff I had bought, all the kitchen stuff and different things like that. And I put a little bit of pumper soap, some new stuff, dishwashing liquids and stuff like that, so that we get over there. Plus the rack I bought. I bought a dish rack that goes over the sink, so that should be kind of cool, because we don't really have the counter space. We are going to do our own little dirty kitchen. We're going to set it up. And I also saw in S&R they have this. It's a sink. It's a regular sink thing, with the faucet and all that stuff. And we have a spigot outside, so I'm going to put a little diverter so I can keep the washer plugged up. And then I'm going to do. Put that little sink out there too, so we can have we got our real nice stand for cooking that my wife picked up. I'm glad she got it. It's real nice. And we got this nice little stove, so that'll be what goes outside. We're gonna have to get an awning over that back end. That's the first thing I want to get done, help with the heat, but I would also like it to have slats where the light can get through. Maybe use some fiberglass or something like that. But just to keep the rain off the washing machine in our cooking area, it would even be nice to screen it in, or have those louvered windows, something just to keep the rain out. It seems when we've been over there, every time we've been there, the wind always comes out of the west. It seems like from the south or the west, it's blowing out of there. I haven't seen it another way. Also, when you watch the clouds in the upper atmosphere, they're constantly moving that way. They're moving to the east or northeast like that. I haven't yet to see them go the other way, and I watch for that stuff. I mean, when I went to look at houses, I had my compass with me, and I wanted to make sure the house was aimed the right way so it wouldn't be too hot. Some people don't consider that. I never liked the idea of the sun coming into the front of the house. I'd rather have it on the back, because that's where we're going to put our clothes to dry. I don't want to hillbilly and put stuff out front. I will have a deep freezer out front, and our parking area, that won't be for the car. The bike will go there. But we want to do a big awning over that also, and at least close the side in, channel the wind a little bit through the house. Right now the airflow is just fantastic over there. I like the way the windows are. I just wish that big hallway, there would have been an opening in that window, so that we could have that open. That would have been nice to have some air moving through there. And I should have done some sort of a clock plug up there also, but didn't think of it till now. So, but I'm gonna let you go, and I'll be back on in just a sec. Rickshaw. Hey guys, Rickshaw back. It's getting towards the end of the day. We got a little bit of cloud cover here, nice and breezy. We just got back. We went down to the house. and we had both. Let's see, it was the upstairs sink was leaking, the toilet valve was leaking, downstairs toilet valve was leaking. Wasn't getting hardly any water pressure through the shower head. And then the other thing that happened was when I was testing the electric, I was getting 230 volts through everything, which is fine. But what I did was I checked it one breaker at a time. And I went over there because we've got the ACs are on their own. Also, the fridge is on its own. Well, when the fridge breaker was on, I was getting 86 volts. So what happened was he must have had a wire on another breaker. So I had the guy, as I had my tester in there, as he turned on the other breakers, boom, we went up to 230. So the electrician got his wires crossed. The plumber, I hope we don't have trouble down the road with the plumbing in this place, because when I was putting the Instahot in, I wanted it under the sink and, have a plug under there, put the Instahot under there. I'm going to have my water system under there. He didn't want to do it. He said, because it won't work. It's gravity fed. And I've installed tons of these things. A lot of the little offices and stores and things, mini malls and stuff I've worked on, they all have them. You put them under the sink, so I didn't understand that, but we got it up in the stupid cupboard now. And the problem with that is it's up in the cupboard, and the kitchen sink was fine. I had plenty of hot water coming out of there. The drains in the kitchen sink were good. The drains everywhere. The toilets worked good. The drains worked good. We checked every single plug. The only one that I got a problem with is the fridge. So he's going to have to get that on the same breaker instead on another breaker. How he got that crossed, I don't know. I saw when they were pulling the wire, each one came out separate. In its own little Smurf tube. It's not like they ran a whole bunch of wire in one Smurf tube. Each one was separate, so how he crossed those wires, I don't know. That's just somebody not paying attention to their work. And I definitely didn't like the upstairs shower. It was kind of wonky the way it was installed. It's not sitting right, plus no water coming through it. They said the guy that was there said, oh, well, the pressure's just not good. Well, I have pressure everywhere else. The toilet tank's filled up in no time. The kitchen sink filled up in no time, because I filled the sinks all the way up with the stopper in and then pulled both plugs just to make sure I don't got any kind of leaks or anything. And checked the plugs outside. Everything seems to be okay. Windows are all working. The fixtures, we didn't have any lamps for the fixtures to screw in, and I wasn't getting any power in any of those. We'll have to learn where the switches are. They've got some three switches. I don't know if they're going to be on three ways or not, going upstairs. Once we get in, we'll have to figure that out. But so we wait. We'll go back down there on Thursday, and hopefully they got all this stuff fixed back up for us, and we'll take it. We're going to take it from there. So that's the way she goes. So we're not quite in yet. So I wished everything would have just went smooth. We still owe him a little tiny bit. I gave him some of the money today, but I wanted to keep some money in my pocket. So I had been told before that, yeah, we could have, just on the extras, we could have had 30 days. And then the girl that was there today said, no, you got to pay it in full. So then I got to wait for a check, because I wanted to keep some money in my pocket. We stopped at the store. We went over to the mall while we were over there, and we were looking at a lot of lights. We got need a light fixture for the steps, and there's that big window, so I want to get not really a chandelier, but something pretty that'll look in the window. And what was really cool is when we walked into this lighting store, and they had all these lights hanging, my wife and I both looked at the exact same one, and it was settled that fast. It was just boom. We were done getting that fixture. I was telling her, showing her the fixture I wanted for the for the rooms, and I don't want anything glass that the kids are going to be able to pull off or knock off easily for the bedrooms. So we'll still think about those. We need another light for outside. They got us the one underneath where I'm going to put my glider. So they cut the hole for that and have the wire poking out. So going to have to get a lot of toggles. I still haven't found the kitchen light I want yet. We pretty much got our lighting we want. We also went down and we're going to go with the 55-inch TV. That's going to fit in that space much better than a 65. It'll be cramped. We found a really nice cabinet that we want that's got 3 drawers in it for silverware, and it's also for dishes and stuff. So it was nice. We're thinking on that. We're not 100%. We want to look around. I don't want to just grab that one and say, oh, that's great, and then we find something down the road later. So we're going to look around. And we got into the True Value. We got a little card. It cost 100 pesos for the card, and we wound up getting like 500 pesos off. And then we found the safe we wanted. Pretty nice safe. I looked at one before, but it was one that had to be plugged in because it had electronic keypad. I don't want that. This one here, I'll be able to bolt it to the floor, and it's got a drawer enough for all our papers and all our important stuff. It's fireproof and waterproof, which I thought was pretty cool. And the price was reasonable. And that was at Ace Hardware. We saw them at other different places. Office supply places have them, but most all of them are this keypad one, and I don't want that. I don't want anything that takes a battery or power. I want just a good old. It's a combination safe with a key also, a barrel key. So that's going to work out really cool. I liked the way the locks went. There was 2 heavy bolts into each side, like that. So that's going to be a real hard one. The hinges were exposed, but it doesn't matter. If you knock the hinges off, you still got those the bolts going through, and it was pretty solid. I was amazed how solid it was, and thick. I mean, the dang thing was incredibly heavy. And the fire rating was like 4 hours. It had a 4-hour fire rating on it. I'll tell you what, if your house is burning for 4 hours, that's a heck of a fire. In a concrete house, I don't think it would be like that. But we're gonna do some of our shopping over there. I was looking at stuff. I got my fridge and my stuff here and the stove. But over there they have some pretty good deals, like the TV. The same TV we wanted was 5,000 cheaper over there. So that was a pretty good deal. But now we're going to go with a little smaller one, because if we put the dining room table in and then a cabinet so we could put our silverware away, that's going to be putting that TV mighty close to the cabinet, and I don't want that. So we knocked off another 10 inches off of that, and it's going to give us a little bit of space. We saw another nice thing that her and I were in agreement on was on the other side from the TV, the mirror. I was thinking either get a big mirror, and she was saying, why don't we just mirror that whole wall? And I was like, cool. It makes the space look bigger. I did that in the house I was in. It had a dining room and then a kitchen, and I made it a country kitchen and got rid of the dining room, made the living room bigger, and put a real nice arched doorway in, but it still didn't look real big. So I took marbled smoked mirrors and just covered the wall to the doorway all the way around to the ceiling, to the floor, and put a nice trim around it. And I'll tell you what, it made it look bigger. It looked fantastic when it was done, and that's kind of like what I want to do in there. Plus, it's going to help with the light. We had a lady come. They brought a blinds lady in. And she had her catalog with her, and I picked out the louvered. And she had a couple other ones, but they gave us a pretty good price getting them all in for the whole house. She measured everything up with the install, so I was looking at that thinking that come out it was about $720 for the entire house. And then I don't got to goof with it. I was pricing some of the stuff in there. I couldn't find any louvered. and you know what I wanted. So us driving around, looking around, the lady had it all right there. Plus, it doesn't matter what color we get. You know, we could get something for the kids' room a different color. I'd like to have the wood grain downstairs to kind of match the furniture, and then the upstairs, like on our bedroom, be nice to have white. And then the kids' bedroom, you know, they had purple, pink, greens. They had all kinds of cool colors for that. So, and then the big window where the chandelier is going to be. I don't know if I really want to cover that because you don't want to see the chandelier. I might do curtains, you know, that are pulled open and some sheer, something like that. We'll figure that out when we get in. But we did see some pretty cool furniture. We saw a dining room table we both really liked. That you pull a leg out and it opens up. It's got 2 leaves on it, and the folding chairs store on the inner. So if we're not using the dining room table, we could fold a leaf down and give us a little more butt room to move around in there, which was pretty cool. You know, I kind of like that idea. So it was a very nice table. It's just you couldn't get the different colors. I couldn't get the dark wood. The cabinet we found we liked wasn't the same color, so I want to get something matching. So, you know, we're still going to look around. But that was a good design, and it's something we both liked again. Both of us were like, boom. And then we found the couch, an L-shaped couch, and both of us immediately, we went to the same one. That we liked the same one. So I think her and I setting up a house is going to be really easy. A couple of the things that I told her I didn't want, like those box lamps. We put 5 box lamps up, one by the back door, and then on the little hangouts from the side of the house. I was okay with it there, but I put puck lights up in the eaves and LED, so I don't got to fool with them. Because I don't want those big box ones. I've seen them, the electricians hang them and they're all crooked and everything because they're right on the seam. They should have been off to the side, but I guess they're trying to make it symmetrical. Well, they're crooked. Every house we went up there and looked at, it was crooked, and I said, I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with it. You know, that just looks like poor workmanship when you see something like that. And, you know, I would never hang a light like that. And these pucks, I would have rather them just cut a hole in the eaves and stuck them in on one side or the other, but they kind of put them on the center. But they're sitting good. There was a little cutout in them, and so that it fit right over the seam that 45-degree seam. So they sit up flush and they look good. I told her they're not to light the whole area. They're just an accent light. They're LED, and I think it's equivalent of about 15 watt. We don't need those to light. It's just an accent light to make the house look nice. That's all that's for. I don't want any big floods there. If we decide down the road we're going to need a flood, we'll get one. I've always found it's been a lot cheaper to give your neighbor the floodlight as a gift. Same thing I did with the bug zappers. I gave the neighbors bug zappers because you're supposed to be 25 feet from them, and they paid for the electric year round to keep those bug zappers running. So that's what we might do down the road, but hopefully we're still looking at getting in there around the 2nd. We're going to go down Thursday and pay them the rest. We got to pay them the rest of the money. I just didn't have it on me, and I didn't have it in the card. Couldn't get it transferred through the phone, so we just got to run back Thursday, and then then we'll get the key, and then we're going to check and make sure all the stuff is fixed. I didn't see any problem with the drains anywhere. None of the outside faucets were leaking, so I think everything's going to work out pretty good. So, but that's what happened today. I really liked the idea. We were kind of cruising slow. We had a lot of traffic there in Lipa, which I didn't mind because it gave me a time to put my head on a swivel and look around. We saw one place that I think we're going to like. It was I think it was called the Barbecue Pit. And I was looking in the window at all the stuff they had, and they had beefsteaks, and you know, the menu was right out by the door with pictures on it. That's how they do here. And looked like there was a lot of good food in there. And we already found our buddy Dexter down there when we were there last time. We ate it. He doesn't run that restaurant. He just supplies them with the stuff. And we've eaten at his place in San Pedro, and it's absolutely fantastic for the ribs. They're not real spicy or anything. I like them a little more spicy, but it's a fantastic meal we got out of there. They got the single platter, and I got the triple platter for $3. I don't know where he gets his corn from, though. I'm not big on the corn here because most of it's field corn. But this corn he gets is absolutely fantastic. They give you just a little tiny bit, but it's well worth it. And it's a good place to eat. We got out of there for basically $14, and we were both full. So there's a lot of nice eateries there. There's an Army Navy there. I always loved those, and what I liked about the Army Navy there, they cook the food right. I've seen them. Tropical Tim was at one where it was all soggy and crappy. We were at one that was soggy and crappy. But the one that we liked was up towards Emus. That one was run very well. We went to the other one over by Santa Rosa or Binion, and it was crappy. I even took it back. I said, "Look, I don't want this." I just refused it right then, and I went ahead and I ordered that Starving Sailor, I believe it was called. I liked that one, but it was just a big sopping mess. So I said, no, I don't want that, and I just got some tacos, and they were okay. But we never went back to that one. If they can't cook you something right the first time, I don't want nothing to do with them. They can fix it all they want, but they'll never fix it for me. But so that was our day. It was a lot of driving. I believe it or not, just from all that driving, I'm tired. But we were able to put all of our new pots and pans, and I put the musical instruments and a whole bunch of stuff like that. It's all over at it's at the house now. We put it up in the one room and locked the door. And there's not much more to do now. Hopefully they get those valves fixed, and we don't have problems with them down the road. I don't like in this country they use plastic pipe, and then if it's not stuck out from the wall far enough and something goes wrong, you're trying to glue it on a bad piece. You can't cut a little off and get a fresh piece. So I don't like the way the plumbing's done in this country. Any place I've seen. When we do the place down, if we build the one in Mindoro, I'm going to surface mount all the plumbing and the electric. I'll run it in conduit. I actually did that at a camp. I ran a camp, and instead of putting 90s on the plumbing, I went ahead and used a bender. I went ahead and used a bender and bent my 90s, and did most of it that way, just straight connectors. And I did all the electrical and EMT, all surface mounted onto the wood, and it came out fantastic. The dude was incredibly happy because he didn't have to tear up the walls or anything. And it's a camp, and I was thinking I'll do the house the same way. That way you can see everything, and if there's a problem down the road, you don't gotta dig into concrete. I still think I'm going to have trouble on the outer wall where they hack that plug in, and on the inside wall as the finish starts to wear, and it's gonna do like this thing. I believe it's gonna do just like this one did, because they added this doorbell. And that was something I put in another video, by the way. If it's raining, don't you ring these doorbells. It's 220 volts in there, guys. They don't run a transformer like they do in the States and make it 12 volts or whatever. That's 220 in these babies, so be very careful. I don't have a doorbell on my house. We're going to put a knocker on there. I'm going to put a knocker on the door. My buddy Paul had given us a nice knocker before I left the States with a nice Irish saying on it, and that's going to go, I think I'll put that up there. And we're going to still do the screen doors. We're going to get like security screen doors so we can leave the door open. The house is incredibly breezy. It had been closed up, but it wasn't hot. It wasn't raining down in Batangas, but it wasn't really hot in the house. But when we opened up the window, oh my goodness, it cooled it off so quick. And we got these air conditioners, so I don't think it's going to be a problem to keep that house cool. We got all our stuff done for the electric. That's completely done. They're going to come and stick the meter on. We already did jump through all their hoops, a 3-hour seminar, and all the stuff you have to do here. And they want you to list every appliance. I mean, holy cow, it's just amazing what they want. But they got their reasons, I guess. So we give them what they wanted to know, and it's looking good. Hopefully they'll have the we had temporary power today, but hopefully they'll have our meter in before we get moved. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Don't forget to pray to each other. I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. I don't know why the driving kicks me in the butt anymore. I think it's the stress of it. When we were down in town, it's just the way people are constantly cutting you off and pulling out of nowhere. They'll have their right blinker on and cut across you to the left, right in front of you, and it's just like it's whack-a-mole. So that's a little stressful driving, and it's what you got. So you all take care, and don't forget to pray for each other. Rick Shaw out.